Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface with Emergency Ads number 16. Emergency Ads videos, raw reactionary type of videos to breaking news within gaming that tend to focus around Blizzard Entertainment fucking us over one way or another. If you are offended by fruity language, there's going to be plenty of it in this video. And also, if you do like just watching the videos where I'm sort of like happy, explaining stuff and things like that, inquisitive about the game, this isn't going to be the one for you because I need to get shit off my chest and it's going to get kind of foisty. Okay? So just don't watch it. And if you're one of these people who just go, I always fucking whinging, just don't watch it. Just don't watch it. That's a great one for you, but, you know, if you must, you must. Thanks for the view. Okay, so MMO Champion, I'm going to immediately palm it off on them in case it's all wrong. MMO Champion are reporting that they've managed to get hold of a Legion advertisement, and at the bottom of the advertisement, not only does it have the pricing for Legion, which, by the way, 50 quid for the standard edition. That's dollar, not pounds, but it's probably going to be £40 for the UK, and also $70 for the digital edition. That's the digital deluxe edition, which again is probably going to translate to about £60 in the UK. So ridiculous money there. But it's right down at the bottom. It says expected game release on or before September the 21st, 2016. Now then, because there are a lot of people on the internet that just jump to conclusions, and when they see a video that's like 30 minutes long, 15 minutes long, what they seem to do is just listen to the first couple of sentences that you say at the start, and then immediately stop, go to the comment section, and then base their response on that. Not worried about listening to all the rest of the stuff where you go point, counterpoint, and all that kind of jazz. So I'm going to start off with the positive side of this. When I said the positive side, well, as positive as it can get. So first of all, just because it says the 21st of September 2016 doesn't mean it's going to release on that date. Warlords of Draenor did say that it was going to be out before, I think it was coming up towards the end of December 2014. It actually released mid-November 2014. So it's an approximation. It's to try and give them breathing room. But let's also remember that the middle of November, when they did reckon that it was going to be out round about spring, according to BlizzCon 2013 Q&A, the middle of November and the end of December, not really a lot of wriggle room there, is there? Okay. Also, let's just state for the record, they might just be giving themselves plenty of time in case when the beta hits, certain pieces of content don't work out. And if these certain pieces of content don't work out, then they're going to give themselves the opportunity to create something new, like they did with Warlords of Draenor. Oh no. No, they didn't, did they? They just cut and cut and cut and cut and replaced it with nothing. But let's just say, all cynicism aside, that's what it's there for. If something doesn't work, order halls don't work, they're an absolute fuck mess. It's okay, we're going to create something else, we're going to start something different, we're going to craft it, we're going to get onto testing, so we need this extra time to make sure that it's properly tested and out in the game properly. So that's kind of like the wiggle room that we're going to give. The problem is, though, folks, we have to look at their track record, don't we? And if we look at their track record of between the last patch of an expansion and the start of a new expansion, it's shit. I mean, it really is shit. We can't describe it any other way. Even going to Wrath of the Lich King, which was probably the best expansion as a whole entity that the World of Warcraft has ever produced, and it was at the maximum height of its power with whatever 12.4 million or whatever it was subscriber wise, people were turning around and saying, hello, you know, ICC, it's been with us for 9 months now, we're kind of getting a little bit bored. Is there something for us to do? And even then, when Blizzard were really at the height of their cocky powers, they turned around and they said, well, if you don't like it, go play another fucking game. Knowing that they were the best game in town. And it was the right, people were just like, oh. But then we got Halion, so they did just throw us a fucking bone anyway. Yeah, fucking alley on. But then when Cataclysm came out, and we got the Dragon Soul raid, I think there was about 10 months of Dragon Soul, and unfortunately Dragon Soul was probably the worst raid that they ever put into the game, and it was just like, oh my god, 10 months of this shit. And then we had Mists of Pandaria, oh my god, and we had 14 months between 5.4 and the release of Warlords of Draenor, with a pathetic, paltry 15-odd minute pre-expansion event. I'm putting that in fucking air quotes right here. Event. About 15 minutes of tripe. So 14 months of absolutely nothing to do there. And if we took this at its extremity, because I think 6.2 dropped on the 23rd of June. So if we went all the way up to 21st of September 2016, that would be 15 months without anything. And I say without anything because I'm not including the .2.x shite. Because I am not including Blizzard giving us dungeons which we've already done back and saying, hey, look, play them again. The time walking. They're just shitter than you remember them and have absolutely no relevance at all. But we'll put a few more rewards in and then you'll just all fucking go, yay, Blizzard have saved the day. They've put a fucking mount in the fucking old dungeon shit. You know, so I'm not including any of that nonsense. I'm talking about fresh, new content which hasn't been introduced into the game before. So it could be a 15-month gap. And the thing with Mr. Pandaria, though, even with the 14-month gap, we'd had 4 patches prior to that. One of them being 5.2, probably the best patch ever created in the World of Warcraft. 5.4, Timeless Isle kept us occupied. 5.3, bleh. And then 5.1, bleh, with a good story. So yeah, there were various sort of levels of how good the content was, but at least there were 4 fucking patches to work off there, so you could go off and work on your 5.1 or your 5.2 stuff still if you hadn't done it, the Zandalari Warbringers and whatnot. What have we had in Warlords of Draenor? Fuck all! Since the 6.0 we've had fuck all. Even in 6.2 it's a piss take. It's like, here's Tanaan Jungle, that place that we were going to give you at launch, and then about fucking 2 months before it was released turned around and said, oh yeah, you're not getting it. It was never planned. Even at BlizzCon we said it was, but then totally forgot we'd said that. So we only got Tanaan Jungle and the fucking raid, and Tanaan Jungle was just full of 7 fucking AP zones and 3, I was going to say shitty reps, but I quite like one of them. But, you know, let's just say 2 shitty reps out of the 3, just to cover kind of like most bases there. So we've had absolutely fuck all to do, and we could go a 15 fucking month period without any content. Not saying that it will be, but I'm just saying track record. And do also recall that I did get a little bit nervous. Remember when I was predicting the release date for Legion? And I said there was just one thing which starts to nag at me. And that was Tom Chilton had just turned around recently and said, Legion's going to come out when it's ready. And that might be before Warcraft is released. Or it might be after. And when he said that, I knew they were covering their own backs, but there was just some element in me which was just like, why did you fucking say after? Why did you say that? Why did you say that? It's kind of was it just one of these like ego things, like where Law, when the website said 6.2 it's coming on this date, and then Law immediately tweeted out saying, well, it might not. And people just going, why the fuck did you open your mouth and say that? Your website has reported that it's coming out next week. I'm sure your website will fucking turn around and say if it isn't. Why did you have to come out and say, well, it's not gonna? It might not. Sorry, not that it's not gonna. It might not. And it did. There was just no need for that tweet. It's just like people wanted to get involved for no fucking reason. Was it just something like that? Or was there actually an element of truth about it? And then you see a poster like this and you're just like, oh my fucking God. Oh my God, it could actually be. It could come out in August. And of course the movie's coming out in June. it could come out in July, end of July, it could come out in August. So suddenly we're sort of like working out in our brains that the likelihood that 6.2 is going to be with us for a fucking year is probably very high now. I'd say there's like 80% plus chance. And then it's just like a number I've plucked out my ass, but whatever. There's like an 80% chance that 6.2 would be with us for a whole fucking year. So what will the sub numbers be? Oh, wait, no! We're not going to be able to find out what the sub numbers will be then, because Blizzard have already turned around this week and said that they're no longer going to report subscription numbers. So we're not going to know what it's dropped down to by then. And all the fucking white knights that came out of the woodwork and were just like, well, other companies don't report their subscription numbers. I think people are just, making a bit much out of this. They're just arseholes that like to rag on Blizzard when they're going down in sub numbers. Fuck you, you white knight idiots. When Blizzard are going up in subscription numbers, they boast. They boast. They boasted it from the very start. They released the sub numbers and the game got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. They knew whether they were the big dog in town. And then they just gave up on the game. Priorities got put elsewhere because they were making more money, or they had the pawn shop to make more money, the chance to make more money. So they just turned around, and World of Warcraft has been in a decline. And it's been going down and down and down and down and down. And if the game was still amazing and the sub numbers were going down, then you wouldn't get people ragging on Blizzard. You get people turning around going, how the hell can sub numbers been going down? This game is brilliant. This game is amazing. Come on, people. Fucking support this. You've got this to do and that to do and the other to do. But it's not. It's a very clear and concise correlation between loss of subscribers and fucking bullshit content. It's very clear and obvious to see. So now that we know, there is just, you cannot defend the content in Warlords of Draenor. If you want to turn around and say Warlords of Draenor is actually a good expansion, you're a fucking moron. You're a moron. I can understand you're still playing. I can understand you turning around and going, look, I know it's not great, but I really love the game. I really love World of Warcraft, and I know it's not in a great situation right now, but I still want to play. I still want to support. I fucking understand that. I can pat you on the head, and we can go for coffee, and we can talk about other stuff. I have every sympathy under the skin, in the world for you, because I feel the same. I fucking love the game. I just hate what they're doing with it at the moment, but I still love the World of Warcraft. And when you hear me talking about older stuff and stuff that we've had from yesteryear and the way that I kind of love to do the exploration stuff, you can see and sense the love that I have for the title. But when I'm talking about the current stuff, you understand the fury and the anger and the frustration. I think frustration more than anything, because it is so fucking dire right now. It's just bollocks, and they're not doing anything to fucking fix it. They're just coming out with pathetic ass excuses, and then when they're actually confronted with the opportunity to apologise, they fucking refuse to do so. It's just like, well, we know it's not the best. They all skirt around the fucking issue when they should be saying, look, we're sorry. We know this is not good enough. But the reason why they can't do that is because they've probably got a policy of doing fuck all nowadays. And that's the big fucking issue that we have. So now that the sub numbers are coming down, and getting back to what I was saying, now that the sub numbers are coming down and the correlation between subscription loss and content is so fucking obvious to see, they turn around and go, well, we're not going to say what the numbers are anymore. And that's just fucking cowardly. That's just what a bully fucking does when they've been knocked the fuck out in the playground after flashing around going, look at my guns, and then some weird little shit just goes, boff, and knocks them on their ass. They turn around and go, I'm telling mummy on you. That's what it is. It's just like we're taking our bat and ball home. And all the fucking white knights. It's because they probably don't want to listen to people fucking harping on about the sub losses. They got every fucking right to do so because the game is in such a shit mess at the moment and they're doing nothing to prevent it. Nothing to prevent it whatsoever. So let's just raise the sort of comedy value of the video. Like, you know, it's got a bit serious, it's got a bit ranty. Let's just like raise the tone up. Let's get it a little bit light-hearted. Yeah, come on, folks, come with me right now. Come on, let's put a smile on his faces. Let's get a little bit excited because I've got a fucking great joke for you. I've got a great joke for you. My joke is, plus get early access to new Demon Hunter hero class. No. Sorry, but this is just fucking hilarious. Right, because let's just put it this way. For argument's sake, say that the expansion comes out in September of next year. 15 months without fuck all to do. You got 15 months of nothing, and you have the cheek to do. I go, hey. Demon Hunters, you get early access. Early access? People are just like, we've been waiting for 15 fucking months. January would be early access, you fucking arseholes. February would be early access. March would be early access. Not a week before the fucking expansion releases, and we've been waiting for 15 fucking months. And then, what can they actually do with Demon Hunter Early Access? You've got to look at it like that as well. What can they do with it? Well, they've already said at the moment, the plan is to start Demon Hunters at level 98. And the Demon Hunters, they're not going to be able to go past level 100, because that's what the level cap is at the moment. They can't say you get early access and you can go over to the Lost Isles with the Demon Hunters. So all there is Demon Hunters running around the Lost Isles leveling up, while people are absolutely fucking exploding because they didn't pre-purchase. Not pre-order, folks, pre-purchase. I.e., hand over your money right now, whenever they release it, which is probably going to be open after BlizzCon, right now, and you don't even know what content will be available on release. Because as we saw with BlizzCon 2013 and Warlords of Draenor, if they'd put a pre-purchase on that, which they might have well done actually, I think they did, but you put the pre-purchase on that, and then the contents that they announced at BlizzCon versus the content of WoD when it released, that is chalk and cheese. So you're playing fucking content roulette with a pre-purchase now. I ain't fucking pre-purchasing. No way. I would have, at the drop of a hat, pre-purchased before. Am I pre-purchasing now? Nah, fucking way. I want to see. I want to see what's there. I want to see what's in the game. I want to see if it's good. I want to see if there's varied content. I want to see if it's fun. I want to see if it's interesting. I want to see if there's plenty of stuff for me to do at end-game. I ain't fucking pre-purchasing. So what can these Demon Hunter do if they start off at level 98 and can't go past level 100? Well, you can go up 2 levels, folks, in your pre-purchase. You can go up 2 whole levels. And let's just give Blizz the benefit of the doubt here and say that they've constructed a really good storyline, because the leveling up was fantastic in Warlords of Draenor. One of the actual good things about it. So let's just say that there is a really well-crafted storyline for the Demon Hunters to start off with, but going up 2 levels, let's say 2 hours at the absolute max. 2 hours. And that is being, I think, really generous. To go from level 98 to 100. So your early access is 2 hours. Now, yes, you can then use your Demon Hunter at level 100 to go around Azeroth as we know it and do this and do that and maybe try and get, you know, a little bit of better gear for it. I don't know what the gear is going to be for it when it comes out. Or, you know, but there's no sets out. There's going to be no sets. There's not going to be any current sets. It's not as if it can go into Hellfire Citadel and come out with a Demon Hunter set. No. It can go into Hellfire Citadel and it can come out with Hellfire Citadel raid gear. And it will be available on the physical launch of the game, whichever date that may be, into the Lost Isles immediately. But let's face it, that's not a massive biggie. I mean, I don't see that personally as a bit of a pull. A week before, with this massive content drought that we're going to get. And it's just, it's the day. And then again, I've got to stress, it doesn't mean it's going to come out on the 21st of September. But just the fact that they are giving themselves so much room to work with. And remember, when they gave themselves so much room to work with Warlords of Draenor, they pretty much used it all up bar about 4 or 5 weeks. So if it does come out, let's say, beginning of August time, then that would have been, again, 14 months. Or 13 to 14 months of no content in this game. And this expansion's just had nothing anyway. I think there's a lot of people out there that have groaned. And I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to get serious again for a little bit. And I could shout about this, and I could rant, and it does have me really angry, this next bit. But I'm actually gonna try and say it as calming as I possibly can, because if I do get worked up about this next bit, then I might say something that I don't want to say, which is kind of like a personal insult to anyone. And I don't really want to do that, because they don't deserve personal insults. It's only a fucking video game at the end of the day, but we get worked up about this shit because that's who we are. But all this news, the no subscribers, we're not going to find out what the sub figures are. This dropping about the potential end date for the release of Legion, and it all drops just a few days before BlizzCon. And this one in particular drops 24 hours before BlizzCon. And the reason why, and I mean, I just find this the most cynical of cynical things that you can do, because there's a lot of people that's going to see that poster, see that it could be up to the 21st of September. And I keep on having to stress up to. Doesn't mean it is. It could come out in February. It won't. No, but it could come out in, like I said, August, July, June, whatever. It could come out any of those times. But just the very fact that it could come out up to the 21st of September, there are so many people that are going to see that, and they're just going to be like, what? And they're going to be down, and they're going to be depressed, and they're going to be angry, and they're going to be frustrated. But BlizzCon. So they are literally saying, oh, look, but we're going to quickly make them forget about it, because BlizzCon's going to hit, and we're going to show off all the content for Legion that we've got planned. Hey, folks, this is coming, that's coming, this is coming, that's coming. And they're going to totally forget about the 21st of September business until a few weeks after BlizzCon's gone. So it's not going to, so it's all kind of like forget them. And then after the few days after BlizzCon, they're all going to be watching the videos. This is coming out, that's coming out. I'm going to be doing videos. Other people are going to be doing videos, and all that kind of stuff. And then it's going to dawn on them again 6 weeks later. It's going to dawn on them again, and they go, oh yeah, whoa, wait a minute. But it might be until September. So they put all this bad news this week. Sub numbers are down again. We're no longer going to be telling you what sub numbers are, because we're losing them hand over fist, and it's easy to see why, and we don't want people having a go at us because we're horrible fucking people right now, and we're not looking after the gorgeous people that are paying us lots of money to play our game. We're fucking them up the ass. So we're going to turn and do a cunt's trick and not tell you how many people we lose. And then on top of that, we're also going to slip in this little nugget of information here in the small print. Hope too many people don't see it, but we know that the arseholes are, and they're going to report it. Aren't they horrible, horrible people to report our fucking short givings? That it could come out anywhere up to the 21st of September of next year. But BlizzCon! Woo! Let's get their minds off it straight away. Straight off the bad news. And that is just such a cynical, horrible thing to do. But the thing is, they're going to be on stage, and they're going to be telling you how much they love you, and how great you are as fans, and how amazing you are, and how they couldn't do this without your support, and you mean everything to them. And then if you translate that to what we actually get in game, it just doesn't equate. It doesn't make sense. You're lying. We can't mean that much to you. You can't love us. You can't think that we're the best things, because you're not doing anything to help. You're not doing anything to put any brand new content in the game for people to do. You're just rehashing your old time walking shit, and then trying to palm that off as something to distract people between now and the release of the new expansion. It's terribly, horribly cynical. So yeah, but look, again, I'm going to try and end this as positive as I possibly can. It doesn't mean that it will. I don't know how many times I've stressed it in the video. It doesn't mean that it will. And also, it does also mean that during the beta testing process, if things go wrong and they have to cut content, then maybe it gives them the opportunity to try and put something else in. You would hope so. Track record says, but you'd hope so. But that is a hefty date. That is a hefty date to potentially be lumbered with, and we're just going to have to see how close they get to it. I really hope they don't. I really, really, really don't hope they don't. And I know I tried to end positive, but I gotta say this: I really thought May of next year was pushing it. I really did. I really thought May of next year was going to be pushing the envelope when it came to retaining people in the game and getting the expansion out. But if they're going to put it behind Warcraft, does that mean also that they don't have faith in this expansion? There's lots of kind of niggling ideas which get into your brain. But look, we'll see in a few hours' time when they start to talk about Legion what we've got on the table here. I'll be looking at it very closely indeed and working out not just what features are going to be, but also hopefully the contents that are going to surround it. So let me know what you guys and gals think in the comments down below. Yeah, it's just fucking horrible to be constantly reporting bad news about this game. What the fuck happened? This was the best game in the fucking world. Nothing touched this game. Nothing. How the fuck are we in this situation? Sorry, that's me. That's Az just fucking... How are we in this situation? Oh, it just gets my goat. Best game in the world and we're reduced to this. Doing fucking videos all the time about how they're fucking up left, right and centre. It's all about money, isn't it, folks? It's just all about fucking money. But if you enjoyed the vid, please do give it a thumbs up. And also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links are in the description down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. I hope I haven't, upset too many people. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.